It's certainly my first time to Australia. Didn't realise that how far back e-commerce is and how underdeveloped e-commerce is in Australia. I've met with a number of Australian retail businesses now over the last few days, and I think what resonates from those conversations is a bit like Groundhog Day for me. I feel like I'm back in the year 2000, and you know, your guys here in Australia are living exactly what I lived between 2000 and 2005 in terms of launching an e-tail business for a multi-channel retailer, where there's a degree of cynicism, lack of investment, a degree of the executive teams believing that the online channel will cannibalize high street sales, and certainly they see as a channel that's highly unprofitable. So why should they be sending their customers from their stores into a unprofitable channel known as the internet? So it is Groundhog Day, and one of the things I want to try to get out to the teams that are here today to listen to me is, don't let that set you back in terms of your drive to launch a internet business here in Australia, because if you do, you're going to allow somebody else eat your pie, as in somebody, more likely a pure play business, to come in and take your business. And it's exactly what happened in the UK. All through 2000, 2005 is when the pure plays really came to market. They were given the oxygen to breathe, and they grew their business exceptionally fast. While the multi-channel retailers didn't want to invest, really didn't understand how the customer was now shopping online, and it just gave that time for the pure plays to develop their business and be many, many months and years ahead of the real big businesses within the UK and within our sector. But thankfully, you know, they got the story. It did take until the middle of last decade to really understand online was going to be potentially their shop window for the brand. And it wasn't all about just, you know, the online window taking sales and becoming transactional. It was actually a channel where you could start to educate and let the consumers know what the type of products and the assortments that you did, that you offered in store, and gave them the tools really to be able to do the research at home, so they were then fully educated and potentially created their own shopping list of what the type of product they wanted to go in and touch and feel it and experience in store. So the perfect marriage happened towards the back end of the last decade. You know, Australia are going to go through the exact pain I went through for the first 5 years. However, saying that, I don't think it'll be 5 years in Australia. Australia, like we're seeing in other countries, Middle East included, they'll be very, very quick in terms of catching up where America is. And potentially, who's to say they can't overtake America and actually catch up the UK in terms of how important e-commerce is. To future-proof your online channel in a truly multi-channel way of retailing it's not just creating a channel to be transactional. It's creating a channel that you can actually speak and create a community and a interaction with your customers. So not every day will your customers come to your website. Maybe in food retailing it's slightly different, but in terms of non-food, so apparel, electricals that my background's in, you want to create a relationship with the customer, your customer, on a weekly or a monthly basis, because whenever you come to buying clothing or you're coming to buying electrical goods, certainly in electricals, consumers only buy electricals maybe 3-4 times a year. What you need to do with your e-commerce channel, your internet channel, is to create a way of engaging with the customer certainly on a weekly basis. And the way of doing that is to build a community within your website, with blogs, forums, and really taking social media where it's going today. So actively being there on Facebook, being there on Twitter, creating your fan club on there, and talking to your consumer via social media, and then back on your own website, talking to them via blogs and forums. And today, everyone lives in a connected world. Everybody wants to this highly, in terms of the connected world, wants to know what's going on in their world of technology and what's going on in their world potentially in 5 years, 10 years time. Now, currently today, BBC do a great job in the news channel, what we want to do, and what I would ask, all retailers in Australia to do, is how do you make your website to what the BBC have done to news? So how do you make a website that really will appeal to your customer? And that's by giving them the information, that's by giving them a reason why they should be visiting your website, not just to find a product that's suitable for them, but to let the customer engage, be inspired, give them loads of information they want to read, they actually find useful. And then not just allowing them read, actually allowing them talk about what they've just read. So jumping onto a forum or getting involved in blogs that maybe the next door neighbours and another person on that community can actually talk about it as well. There's nothing better than user-generated content, because that's written in the language that you and I, as consumers out there, really do understand. So to future-proof yourself, don't build just a transactional site. Build a site that there's a community that's completely as part of the DNA of the website and as part of the DNA of the brand, to encourage that engagement on a weekly basis.